Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on AM 1680 Q4.org, airing live every Saturday from 5 to 7. Also, I'd like to let you know about our drink specials tonight. $3 domestic beers, $4 well drink cocktails, $4 Jaeger shots, and firebombs. So please, drink heavily. Wow. So, Thomas couldn't be here tonight due to illness. At least that's what he claims. I actually have a theory. I believe he's huddled at home right now under a blanket, the crown on his head, watching old reruns of Game of Thrones, saying to himself, "It shouldn't have ended that way. The coffee cup meant something!" No, we wish him well. Almost. I wish him well. I hope he recovers. I'll be honest, this is my first time hosting tonight, so be gentle with me. It's my first time. I'm more nervous than a Catholic schoolboy being alone with a Catholic priest, seriously. Like, is he going to be into me? Am I wearing the right clothes? These are the kind of questions I usually ask, right? But just to give you a warning, I'm not really a religious person. Are there any religious people here? Good, we're in good company. I just heard recently, though, that a evangelical said that atheism is not real and atheists don't exist. And I heard that this morning. That confused me for the rest of the day, I'll be honest. It put me in quite of a conundrum, because I spent the whole day walking around my neighborhood asking people who I was the figment of. Is it you? It's got to be somebody. But I'm also trying to stay away from social media. I'm thinking it's a bad influence on things. Anyone part of social media? Yeah. Twitter, Facebook. See, I'm trying to stay away from Facebook because I'm starting to get a lot of bad vibes from Facebook. Because just recently, a couple weeks ago, one of my friends posted an article saying that coffee is not life. So I blocked him and unfriended him because I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Let's be honest, coffee doesn't equal life. Coffee is life. Coffee is the reason people around me still live. Seriously, how many times have I been waiting for a cup of coffee thinking to myself, I could just murder a lot of people here. Oh wait, coffee. Never mind. Y'all live for now. I've been distracted by my caffeine addiction. But if they didn't give me enough sugars, some of you are going to walk out of here with a limp. I'm going to tell you right now. But it's crazy. Family, though, really. Anybody love family?
Yeah.
Anybody got siblings? How many siblings? You? One. Okay, you got lucky. Seriously, anybody got more than one? 3. See, I'm the same boat. I got 3 sisters who I love to death because it's a federal law. I have to. I just don't want to pay the $50 fine, really. But they get into movies, for instance. Anyone see Endgame here? All right, sorry, bad question. Anyone not seen Endgame yet?
Yeah.
Seriously. You poor soul, you. Oh my God, I'm going to ruin that movie for you right now. I hope you know. No. If you see an Endgame, obviously you understand there's a lot of touch and go moments. Of course, obviously, the saddest moment of the movie that obviously isn't getting enough tension, which is, of course, in Endgame, we found out in that universe in 2023, Fortnite is still popular. It's the only time I actually cried. But anyway, let's get this started, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up our first comedian. A favorite of mine, actually. Funny man. Brian Johnson!
Thank you, Jeff. A lot of Chicago comics have been getting on TV lately. Comics that started in Chicago, like Josh Johnson, Megan Gailey, Chris Redd. I have a big TV appearance of my own coming up. You heard it here first. I'm going to be on Cops! I just wish my mom were prouder of me of that. I just quit my job at the movie theater because my boss was a creep. But when I'm on my last days, which was Christmas, I was the lead that day. I was in charge just for the day, and I had to clean the lobby. And I found a vial of cocaine about $300 worth. So I definitely had a white Christmas. I didn't do the cocaine. No, actually today would have been my cousin who died of an overdose 25th birthday. So I know better than to touch that sweet white powder that everyone raves about, but I don't touch. So, let's see. Some say that Donald Trump is having a fling with Kellyanne Conway. Now, I hate Trump, but I don't think that's true. This is why. Kellyanne Conway is 20 years younger than Donald, and that's way too old for him. I quit Tinder recently. I didn't meet someone. No, I've been single for a year and a half, but I got sick of constantly being matched with women I know and then having to apologize to them in person because I felt like a creep. Being matched with someone you know on Tinder is about the equivalent of building a time machine out of a DeLorean, going back in time 30 years, and realizing you just made out with your mom. Okay, raise your hand if you did not get that reference. All right, you all did. Oh, you never saw Back to the Future?
Oh, all right.
Okay. Yeah, the women in my family actually are attractive until they have kids, so I probably. But most of the women in my family, I wouldn't. Like my cousin who died or my sister. They're not very good people, so I wouldn't date any woman in my family. So I got back on OkCupid, and I know my luck with women's going to turn around starting now. How do I know that, you ask? Well, they ask on the question on OkCupid, what's the most private thing you're willing to admit about yourself? And I know ladies love honesty, so I was brutally honest. I said, I actually find myself slightly attracted to Gene Simmons. I know my luck with women is going to turn around starting now. I'm bald. I've been bald since I was a little kid, and I'm an advocate for rape and sexual assault victims because I was sexually assaulted at a young age. And some people have applauded me for that. Other people think I'm getting out too much information, but I try to do the right thing. Let's see. I'm bald, and I'm old. Well, 35 I consider old, but and I'm autistic. So I'm like an autistic Patrick Stewart. Speaking of Patrick Stewart, okay, I'll do an X-Men reference and then a Star Trek reference just in honor of Patrick Stewart. So I had a falling out with my best friend of 20 years. He became an ultra born-again right-wing Christian as he got older, and I got into hippie spiritual stuff, which has really helped me because I used to be really messed. If you were on the scene almost a decade ago when I started, you know I was a lot more messed up then than I am now. So that really helped me, and he thinks his becoming born-again Christian didn't help him. But bottom line, he joined the Brotherhood of Mutants, and I joined the X-Men. So the last season of Star Trek Discovery wrapped up recently, and I had a CBS All Access account for it, and that was all I really used it for, was watching Star Trek. So I canceled my account. Did any of you ever cancel a subscription to something and doing whatever it takes to keep you aboard? Anyone ever had that happen?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want it to bother you, all you have to say, do what I do. You have to call up and say, yeah, I'll probably be back later. It's just, I'm going to jail for a few months. Seriously, they won't ask any questions. And when when I sign back up, I think I'm gonna sign back up when the new show about Picard comes out. I'll be like, oh yeah, the warden just let me out just in honor of the new series about Picard. So. All right. I'm trying to get out more, get booked more, so I can try to get out more and do comedy more lately, so I can get booked more. But even if I was killing it every night, I don't see myself getting booked left and right like some Chicago comics do. The Chicago comedy scene is very cliquey, and every time in my life I ever joined any sort of clique, I get treated like the character Butters on South Park. All right. So I'm bipolar, I'm autistic, I have PTSD, I have OCD, and I'm a sexual abuse child molestation survivor. There are a lot of things that make me that drive me batty, but nothing makes me angrier than when white kids wearing Abercrombie and Fitch try to act like they're in a gang. Anyone watch the Queer Eye reboot on Netflix yet? Anyone watch it? Okay, I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm meaning to. But I remember 10 years ago when they had this show on Bravo and it was Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. I remember a decade ago I had this dream that I was on it and the Fab Five made me wear lingerie. Oh wait, that was a good dream. All right. I was running through this. You guys think I'll do okay in my show in Minnesota on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. I was running through it. I had to watch I had a lot of Trump jokes. I did one of the less offensive to Trump jokes, because you know those damn snowflake Trump supporters. They don't like when they'll declare jihad on you for mocking their prophet. But let's see. Did I cover everything I wanted? Oh, I actually hit every note, other than just stuttering a little bit a couple times. I'm going to close with this. One of my favorite movies of all time is Back to the Future Part 2. As we all know, it was only 1 year off with the Cubs winning the World Series. But there are other things Back to the Future Part 2 got right. 3D films have taken over, the Florida Marlins changed names to the Miami Marlins, and Michael J. Fox has trouble playing guitar. All right, you guys are great. Peace.
All right, let's give it up for Brian. So, hey, Brian, you talked about sci-fi a lot. I actually am reminded about that because a friend of mine got angry with me because I make fun of certain religions, but I don't make fun of Scientology. And I said flat out, I can't, because I really don't really consider them a religion. I really just consider them really Trekkies with a tax break. But we did forget to say, and I want to remind everyone, you have 7 minutes. Also, in case it wasn't uttered, we are on the radio. No cussing. It's bad. Makes baby Jesus cry. Which is really weird because seriously, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm thinking of jokes or the jokes I want to say, but half of my brain is literally on a speed loop. Don't say the F word. Don't say the F word. Don't say the F word. Which is really weird because growing up, I didn't even know it was a word because my dad used it as a comma. Unless he was really angry, then it was an exclamation point. But actually, a lot of people thought I was weird when I was growing up as a kid because I did that so often. They even misdiagnosed me as having Tourette's syndrome. They did. It wasn't until later on they realized it wasn't Tourette's at all. It was just, turns out I was a moody prick. But anyway, our next comedian, Kyle Allen. Woo!
Thank you. Let's keep it going for Jeff for the most hesitant introduction ever. Kyle, Allen? That's the standard I have for all my comedy shows in the future, so keep it going for Jeff, everyone. Yeah, so just get things started. I just got this haircut.
Woo!
Yeah. As soon as I got this haircut, someone told me that I looked like a recently divorced lesbian.
Yeah.
Which is endearing because that implies someone tried to love me. Yeah, I just got started my vacation. And by vacation, I mean I got rear-ended and now I get to drive a rental car. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I'm just not looking forward to the day I have to give it back. Because I know I'll never be able to drive any day as nice as a Ford Focus. Okay, bit of a mediocre reception to the car jokes. Should have figured this was a DUI crowd. Just got a job as a divorce photographer. Basically the same thing as a wedding photographer, except now I take pictures of them cutting the cake and dividing the assets. Yeah, I have this really bad thing where I'm bad at remembering names. So nowadays what I do is whenever I meet someone, I'll write down their name, and if they seem cool, I'll give them back their wallet. Yeah, so I just did a show over in Gary. Yeah! Look, I'm just gonna make this argument right now. Gary is not Indiana. It's just part of Chicago they put in storage and stopped making payments on. No one's bidding on that Star Wars episode. And it's glad to be back here in Chicago, but I remember when I was on my way up here, I came across this one business that was called Adolph's Funeral and Cremation. The silence speaks for itself on that one, people. I couldn't make this up if I even tried. They've been around for over 50 years. 50 years and no one bothered to look up and say, maybe they should change the name. I mean, at the very least, we've gone for a comedic twist and called it Adolph's Wake and Bake. And to everyone laughing right now, this is how the set is going to be for the next 6 minutes, so buckle up. I'm mainly saying that to the people at home right now. Gotta acknowledge the viewers. We're playing to a crowd. Yeah. So I remember when I was younger, I went to the Chicago College of Performing Arts because I wanted to pursue a career and live with my parents. And it was a great school, wonderful school. The only problem with that school was there was a serious homeless problem. Or to go with the politically correct term, graduates. But I used to be in a band, you know, no big deal. I used to be in a band, except I had to leave due to creative differences with the drummer. You see, I wanted to play rock, and he sold my guitar for heroin. You know, gotta pick a different career path. You guys enjoying that silence? Good, I made it. So what else am I doing? Well, I just got invited to my high school reunion because finding out that I look worse on Facebook just isn't enough. No, I gotta be there in person and see all the people that I asked out over the years. Like, hey, ladies and Chuck, you dodged a bullet. I don't want to go because I know how exactly it's going to play out. I go there and people be like, so Kyle, what do you do for a living now? It's like, oh, me, I do stand-up comedy. Really? How'd you get started? Oh, the usual depression. So you worked with any famous people? Yeah, my Uber driver was an extra in Shameless. Okay, so how's the pay? Sometimes? So you guys watch The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Good, neither do I. Not a big fan of the show. You know why? Because they got a hot chick in a group of nerds. I'm sorry, but I grew up with nerds, and the closest thing we ever had to hot chick in our group was me with long hair. Oh, that's right, Shakers. Drink it in. Used to have long, luxurious locks. When I had long hair, people told me that I looked like Neil Young. But then when I got short hair, those same people would tell me I looked like Ted Bundy. By the way, am I the one who thinks that Ted Bundy sounds like the name of a comedian? Can you just imagine that comedy club marquee? A Night Improv presents Ted Bundy featuring Johnny Wayne Gacy, hosted by Jeff Dunham. Okay, not a great line, but at least two of those names are guaranteed to kill. Yeah, my dad was never a great man. Yeah. He wasn't a great man, but to give credit where credit is due, he was definitely a man of his word, and that word is asshole. They did help me out over the years, like that one time you gave me a pair of jumper cables, but never taught me how to use them. So I had to figure that out using trial and error. The best way to learn something. But it paid off, though, because now I can officially jumpstart a car without hurting my nipples. All right, I only have a short amount of time, so I'm just going to close out in these fast ones right here. The craziest sex I've ever had was on the hood of a car. It was a lot of fun, but the salesman still wouldn't lower the price. I like country music the same way that I like kids. I don't. Recently found out about this thing called 10,000 hours. Basically what that means is that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you become an expert at it. Well, my grandpa has had emphysema for 10 years, and he still sucks at breathing. And last one, people. My cousin just recently gave birth, and already she lost all her baby weight. And she didn't have to do anything. DCFS just took the kid. All right, that's my time now. Thank you all very much.
All right, let's give it up for Kyle Allen. Is that better? You mentioned Ford Focus. I drive a Ford Focus.
I'm sorry.
It actually came up in an argument I had online with somebody over religion. They said, well, Sam, you can't be an atheist because apparently no one ever told you this is Christian country. I said, yeah, same reason why no one's ever told me my Ford Focus is a Porsche. Then he got mad, though. Actually, he didn't get mad. He made fun of me. He's like, you drive a Ford Focus. I'm like, yeah. It could be worse. The last thing I drove before the Ford Focus was your mom. Yeah. He said I was a sinner. He's like, my mom's over 90. You're disgusting. I'm like, hey, what can I say? I'm in no leather seats. Anyway, on that note, let's bring up our next comedian, shall we? Dustin Drew.
Leather seats, okay. Wow. What's up, y'all? How's everyone doing? Everybody good?
Yeah.
It's good. Let me get this thing in, and that's a familiar sentence. Anyway. Yeah, you guys are doing good? It's good? Valerie asked that? Perfect. Alright, yeah. So I recently lost weight. I recently lost 20 pounds, which... Oh my gosh, thank you. But that sounds great until I talk about the fact that was like before Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of that. So we can honestly bring that 20 down to maybe 5. And it sucks because I worked extremely hard to lose this weight. You know, like I'd go out for a jog, and I'd run a few miles, or I'd go to the gym for a few hours or something like that. I ate kale, which was depressing. But the minute I even looked at a slice of pie, I could feel my pants starting to get tighter. And the thing is, I don't even really have a significant goal for losing weight. I don't. I have no goal for losing weight. I just want to get to a point in my life where I can get into a pool and take off my shirt without parents covering their children's eyes. I want to get to a point in my life where I can walk past a mirror and not go, Jesus Christ. Because I genuinely forget what I look like sometimes, and when I remember, I become this horribly awkward mess. I become the human equivalent of, enjoy your meal, sir. I'm fine, and you? And my family does not help at all. Like, my family doesn't help. Like, I remember recently at a family event, I'm sitting there and I'm putting food on my plate. Now, admittedly, this was my 3rd plate, which means I'm 1 plate away from being a family. Just 1. And as I'm sitting there putting food on my plate, I can hear my uncle behind me. And the thing about my family is that they love to talk stuff about you. They love to talk stuff about you, but they try to be subtle with it. So I'm sitting there and I can hear my uncle behind me, and all I can hear is just, God damn, that boy is hungry! Which kind of made me feel like trash because now I have to feel guilty for eating, which did not stop me from eating. But now the salt of my tears is what's seasoning all the food. So, let me ask you guys a question. Who here feels that everyone is beautiful in their own unique way? Make some noise if you feel that way. Really? Let's see. You. What's your name?
I'm Natalie.
Natalie?
Yes.
How you doing, Natalie?
Good, how are you?
I'm chilling. I'm cool. Natalie, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you truly believe that everybody is beautiful in their own way?
Yes.
That sounded like hesitation.
Well, now it is, yeah.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever seen an ugly baby?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? So there's ugly people. All right, cool.
Well, it's a baby.
So now you're a liar. Now you're a liar. Perfect. You know what? I'm getting tired of pretending that people's babies are cute. I'm getting legitimately tired of pretending that people's babies are cute because they'll always put a picture of their newborn baby on Facebook, and I mean like fresh baby. Because they'll always post it and they'll be like, oh my gosh, my baby is so cute. I love him so much. Tell me my baby is cute. And it's like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about this tiny bag of meat that looks like whatever they put in Hot Pockets? Did you say Chicago hot dog? Oh my gosh. Ew. So, I recently come to a conclusion that my social life is what the kids are calling non-existent. And I realized that because recently I was sitting and I was, thinking about what I had to do during the week. And I was just like, okay, well, I got work. Oh, wait, on this day I get to see my therapist. And I got legitimately excited about that, which says a lot about the fact that the happiest point of my week was talking about how sad I am. But it's not all bad. Not 100%. It's not all bad. I went on a date recently, which was just an hour and a half of me lying. And not lying about big things, but small things like, yeah, I agree. Vanilla Ice deserved better. And I'm not intentionally lying, but there's a legitimate part of my brain that's just like, hey man, you lost your black card years ago. Why not say Vanilla Ice? There's a legitimate part of my brain that thinks that. But I know that later down the line it's gonna bite me because eventually Ice Baby is going to make me blow a frickin' gasket, and I'm not gonna be able to deal with that. I once told this girl that I liked country music, which, look, if a black guy ever tells you he likes country music, he's lying. There's like 8 black guys that like country music, and they're all either adopted or they're from Hootie and the Blowfish. That's all you got. Although, not gonna lie, y'all heard that song, Old Town Road? Yeah. That song legitimately makes me want to get on the back of a horse and do a drive-by. No question. That would be so cool. Alright, I'm gonna close this out. I remember once I told this girl that I like indie music, which I didn't. Which, by the way, who here knows what indie music is? Okay, well, for those of you that don't know, indie music is the music of that one white girl who you've probably met. She shows up to every party with a ukulele. She named it Tim. She tells everybody she's vegan, but you can clearly smell pork on her breath. And she tells everyone to call her Luna because she's one with the stars or some crap. What I'm trying to say is, I listen to indie music now, and I am now officially that white girl. Can't you tell? Alright, y'all, that's my time. Thank you. My name is Dustin Drew.
Alright, let's give it up for Dustin! I was actually on Bottoms of the Barrel just recently, last Saturday. And he introduced me to my favorite video of all time. A white chick singing X Gonna Give It To You, playing a ukulele. That is now my favorite song It really is. I think it should be the soundtrack to anyone that lives in Arlington Heights. Because you know those people, right? They come to Chicago, like, yo, I'm from Chicago, yo. And they're like, what's your zip code? And they give it to you. It's like, dude, that's Arlington Heights, you poser. Seriously. You don't get to come to Chicago and do that. You're literally showing disrespect to all of us that pay outrageous rent. Anyway, we're having a fun time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm assuming because the applause was way high for that. No, it was awesome. So let's bring up our next comedian, shall we? Eddie Soto!
I'm not gonna lie, that's not really my real name. My real name is Eduardo Soto. And the only reason I cut it Eddie is because people keep messing up my name. They like to say, hey, Educardo, or hey, Ecuador, or Equator. My favorite is, hey, isn't that the guy that I saw work at Home Depot last week? You're wrong, I work at Lowe's, alright? Let's get it right. I work at Lowe's. Better quality prices. And the reason why I keep my name like that also for another reason is that with everything that's going on these days with government and they just want to capture us, you know, like, oh my gosh, he's speaking the Mexican language. No, sir, it is Spanish, not Mexican. Mexican doesn't. It's an ethnicity. So if you're wearing anything that has gold and it has the word ice on it, I'm walking the other way, the opposite way. I'm like, no, that has ice, let's go this way. You could wear North Face, it has gold lettering, I'm walking across the street way further. I'm like, nah, that's undercover ice, man. You don't know. You don't know. Comedians always say there was always tough rooms when you go in and do comedy because there are tough rooms. You want to go to a tough room? Make my mom laugh. That's a tough room. And I told my mom, you know, because in Latino families, especially Mexican families, we are bred to just work. You get up, you work. When you come out of the womb, you work right away. I'm like, that's a little extreme, Mom. Calm down, all right? You work. So I told my mom, I want to be a comedian. Oh, you want to be a comedian? Make me laugh. Let's go. Make me laugh. And then I'm like, well, one day, you know, you're not funny. Do you know what's funny looking? Your face and then you do the cleaning. Go clean up right now, Mr. Funny Man. She goes to bed. You making that George Lopez money? No. Then go back to work. I'm like, wow, Mom, thanks for the encouragement. Oh my gosh. But I love my mom. She's a bad woman. Bad like good, not bad like... Well, she was back for giving me the whoopings, alright? Everybody got a whooping. I think. I'm assuming. I don't know. I did. I got the whoopings. My mom got creative. Sandal with an electrical cord. She'll tie the electrical cord and there's a sandal and she'll whip it around. She's here and I could be right there by the bar and she was still hit me in the back. Ah, what happened? You weren't paying attention. Now go mop the floor. As I always had to do chores with her. If I'm not doing something, she called me lazy. Oh, you're sitting down. I'm lazy. I'm resting. No, you're lazy. Get up. Oh my God. Or if I'm just like walking around, hey, while you're walking around, take the broom. Let's go broom the floor. I'm like, you're obsessed with work, man. Relax. I don't know how to relax. And I'm not gonna relax with the whoopings. I'm not. It is. Then the other day, I had a colleague of mine goes to me, hey bro, I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you know Chipotle got the best Mexican food in the world? I'm like, what? Say that one more time. Like, Chipotle got the best Mexican food. I think I almost lost consciousness when I heard that. Because when you tell a Latino that Chipotle is real Mexican food, that's like saying P.F. Chang's is real Chinese food. And that's not real Chinese food. Okay? When do you put tofu in your burrito? When? Tell me when. When do you substitute lettuce for kale? No. Just because it has a little guacamole doesn't mean, oh, that's real Mexican food. No, it's not. The only Mexican there is Raul and Alejandro making your burrito. That's the only Mexican thing they have in the back, alright? We know it's true. We know it's true. Ah, yes. Can we assume that everybody saw Avengers? Can we assume that everybody did? I'm not really going to talk about it, but we can assume that. Alright. We can assume that. I think like the most crazy part about that movie is when they have that big final scene when all the Avengers, all of Marvel come out and there's Thanos and his crew in the back and it took all of them, all those superheroes. I thought to myself, do you really need every single one of them? No. Iron Man, the GOAT by the way, Hulk, whatever, that's fine. There's only one person you only need to take out Thanos. One. John Wick. If you've not seen John Wick, that man is dangerous. He is the real boogeyman. When they say no, he is the real boogeyman, alright? He will take down any horror guy. Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, you got nothing on John Wick, alright? John Wick will assassinate you in a heartbeat. Thanos be like going for the head, no problem. Poosh! Now what? He just walks away. John Wick to me, he's my hero and a nightmare. Oh my god. John Wick. I realize I'm going through a financial crisis. Being broke. Okay? Being broke. You know it's bad when your mom's social security check is more than your paycheck? That's pretty bad. I've asked my mom, can you loan me $50? Like, you need to find a better job, alright? Working at Chipotle behind with Alejandro and Jorge ain't gonna cut it. But it's bad. I mean, to the point where I'm gonna have to live back with my mom's, back to her house. Like, in her room, actually, because the other room's occupied with her clothes and everything occupied. I'm like, wow, that's sad. I'm to live in an inflatable mattress. That's not how it is to live for a 39-year-old. You can see the progress that I made. So if you're young, please don't make the same mistakes that I did. Don't take too many loans. Eat poor. And live with your parents till you're like 35. Save your money. And then move out. And then pay exorbitant rent here on Lakeview and Wicker Park in Bucktown. And then you'll end up being broke like me. Don't do that. Lesson learned. That's my time. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Eduardo Soto. Is that good?
Yes.
All right, you talked a lot about family. Do you? You said your mother, right?
Yeah.
Do you share a lot of comedy with your other family members?
Mostly her.
All right, I actually shared it with my grandmother. Yeah, because she actually asked me a question, and I'm sure a lot of people also ask, why do you do comedy? And she even asked me. I said, honestly, straight for the panani. She said it was okay because that's why she goes to bingo. But all right, let's get the show going. We got a great comedian coming up. I'm gonna try really hard not to butcher his name. Elle.
Got it.
I got it right. Yes. Oh, I knew there was a reason I got held back 3 times in 3rd grade. All right, Elle.
I gotta get my drink in position.
Chairs. Between the chairs, by the way.
Between these.
Yeah.
Table and a chair.
Those 2 chairs.
The table and a chair. Right there.
Yeah. That's good.
Alright. How y'all doing tonight? So remember to tip your bartender. He's doing a fantastic job. And I gotta remember not to swear. So I just recently moved to Chicago about 2 years ago. And I'm from Detroit. Woo! 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 That's what they say. North of 8 Mile. South of 8 Mile. It sounds a little bit like the European thing, but I can't say it 'cause it's racist. So, anyways, you know, I know a lot about unemployment, so I've been trying to have this side hustle as long as another job. And someone comes along, so, I've been trying to tell people that I can be their pool boy, right? It ain't no worry, because if you don't get a pool, there'll be a pool of something by the time I'm done. I had this really good job, and unfortunately, like my references, they can't call this job, But I used to work for Life Alert. You guys know that company? What was the saying on TV?
I've fallen and I can't get
I've fallen, I can't get up. I'd be right there. Yeah, I got fired for having sex on the job. Who needs the Kama Sutra book when you can be like a box of chocolates? You just never know what you find when you walk in the door, right? It could be missionary at the bottom of the stairs, doggy style, in the bathtub, it's all good. But it's crazy because, don't worry. At least I'm not a pedophile. But I am a gerophile, right? And my grandpa, I love my grandpa. But it's okay because I'm adopted. My grandpa's my indentured servant. I keep the contract and a glass of water next to the bed. Thank you. At least you laughed at that. That's right, Papa. You can't have your teeth back unless you make me finish. But I opened up that box. There's just some things in life that you shouldn't try. You shouldn't try. I'm an addictive personality. Some things that you just, if you try it, you might not be able to stop. Like fingering your cat. It's like heroin, What if one day you decide, I'm a little horny, I'm going to finger my cat. And then you realize that you can't get off unless you finger your cat. That's a bad situation. You might be able to get away with it for a while. You're in bed with your partner. You're, I don't know what that means. Time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish.
Okay, so you're in bed with your partner, you're under the covers, you got your finger in your cat, you can get away with it for a second, You're like, I'm trying to do that. But, in the meantime, if you move on and you start choking puppies, well, you only got two hands. You can't do both at once. All right, I'll end on this just because I'm not sure that's not your taste. But scientists just figured out how to keep your kittens and puppies little forever. Right? It's called taxidermy. Thank you. God bless everyone. You believe in that. Thank you, boss.
No problem. Give it up for Evil! Evil! Love the hat. Where'd you get the hat?
Beatniks, but they stopped selling it.
Ah, cool. Well, look at another.
The same reason why McDonald's stopped selling honey with their McNuggets, because of me.
You've done a good job towards... Wow, that was a weird answer. Anyway, I want to give it up for our community so far. Also let you know the drink specials, by the way. $3 domestic drinks, $4 wild cocktails, $4 Jaeger shots, and fireballs. So, wow, that was an interesting thing. Don't know what to say to that. I used to think I was a degenerate, but wow, I need to really look at that. Apparently I'm not. But I do. He did remind me, though, I need to go out and date more. I literally do. Not just to open my mind, but literally to stop my normal routine. Let's face the facts. I masturbate so often, even I'm questioning the nature of the relationship. It's like, you never take me anywhere. You don't buy me anything. That's all you want me for. Yeah, I got issues. I need therapy or alcohol or both. Anyway, let's get the show going. We have Kim Cook, The very funny Kim Cook, I should say.
Thanks so much, and give it up for Eve, right? Was that our last comic? Forget Sarah McLaughlin. We have our next SPCA spokesperson. Who would not donate, right? After seeing that. You are welcome. So, as you guys can probably tell by my haircut, I will ask to speak to the manager. Or call the police? No. Yeah, so my name is Kim Cook, and it's weird because the last name is something I do not do well. But I'm lucky because my husband, Andrew, is British, and it's not like he's ever tasted good food, so it's not very good, but so he's like, it's all right, Kim, it's not like I've ever tasted good food, but you might think, like, that's my British accent, like that's not the best British accent you've ever heard, but that's what he sounds like. Yeah. Kind of like he just walked off the Broadway play Oliver, like, thank you, sir, can I have some more? And, it's actually what he says after sex. And, yeah, you want to know what he says during sex?
Yeah.
The British are coming, the British are coming! Once a year, no. So you guys, because we just celebrated 8 years of marriage, can you believe it? Yeah, thank you. I don't know who deserves a medal more, but since I'm here and he's not, it'll be me. No, but we don't have any children. You guys want to know what's weird about being married and not having any children? Nothing! Nothing is weird. No, that felt good. What's weird is the questions I get about not having children. Like, my friend Melanie has a litter, and yeah, and she's always asking me, like, who's going to take care of you when you're older? And I said, listen up, Melanie, 2 words. Cabana boy. Yeah. And besides, you know, I've heard someone once tell me that having children is not all that it's cracked up to be, and that person was my father, and I'm his only child, so yeah, probably explains a lot, right? But I actually have 2 fur babies. I do not exhibit the same behavior, no, but you know, I saw you kind of throw up in your mouth a little bit because I said fur babies. I know. And I have this haircut. I'm sorry. My kids have paws. Okay, no, I'll make you guys stop throwing up now. I like hate myself that I said that. But one of our dogs is a Chihuahua mix named Louie, and it's sad because I got him 4 years ago and I named him after my favorite comedian at the time. Yeah, little Louis C.K. Yeah. Which does now explain his odd behavior around female dogs and how he got banned from so many dog parks, and he's always dropping in unannounced at New York comedy clubs. Crazy. Our other dog is a Cocker Spaniel named Wrigley, and it's weird because Wrigley loves to sleep like smack dab between my husband and I at night, so does that make him a blocker spaniel? A cock blocker spaniel, or maybe just a little cocker blocker? I don't know. But either way, I get a good night's sleep, so yay! Let's see. Oh, so I actually just celebrated my 1-year anniversary of moving back to Chicago. Yeah! Woo! Yes, I mean, because sweater weather in May was a logical choice, but I moved from Dallas, Texas, and yeah, it's funny because there's this perception that people in the South are just so darn nice, and I'm here to tell you no, not Southern women, okay? They are like ninjas of the passive-aggressive reverse compliment. Yeah, my former coworker, Caroline, said this to me. She's like, well, my Kim, isn't that just an outfit and a half? You are not afraid to use color, are you? I couldn't pull that off, but good for you. And yeah, then when she thought I was safely out of earshot, I heard, have you seen Kim today? She just looks like 20 ounces of sausage stuffed in 6 ounces of fuchsia casing. Bless her heart. It's like, hey, Caroline, cubicles are not soundproof. No, she's what I like to refer to as a Southern fried witch. Yeah, we'll stay for this one. So, glad I'm here. So I was recently looking at old photos of myself as a teenager to, reconnect with that angsty dark lip liner girl I used to be. And I realized that there used to be this part of me that was unruly and out of control. My eyebrows. Yeah, my mom would say, "Oh, honey, your eyebrows are thick, just like that celebrity." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, Mom. You mean Brooke Shields?" "No, honey, Walter Cronkite." Yeah. But on the plus side, my eyebrows are amazing at announcing the news. Yeah, like from Dallas, Texas, President Kennedy has died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, some of you might not know who Walter Cronkite is. For that, I say, enjoy your youth. I recently did this joke in Alabama, and they didn't know who President Kennedy was. They don't know a lot of things, right? Just thought I'd throw that out there. So for many years I went to a nail salon to get the Property Brothers waxed. Yeah. Of course I call my eyebrows the Property Brothers because they take up prime real estate on my face, and it's important to keep up with renovations. But unfortunately, when you go to a nail salon, you only pay $10 for a service. You end up paying for it in other ways, like emotionally, with their upsell insults. Like first they always ask to wax my entire face, and I'm like, I am not Khloe Kardashian, okay? Like, just the eyebrows. Then they always ask, how about just the lip? And you guys, I really get upset about that one because just that morning I'd shaved, But, so recently I decided to up my eyebrow game, and I made an appointment at Ulta at the Benefit Brow Bar. Because according to their website, it's where girls in the know get brows on the go. Yeah. So I went to my appointment, and I was greeted by Caitlin with a Y. Perfect boobs, not yet jaded by life's woes, Caitlin. But anyway, she told me she was going to be my eyebrow barista, and asked me what my eyebrow goals were. And then I kind of made fun of her, and then she got upset, and then I asked to speak to the manager. Yeah. And I received a gift card for a free next visit. Thanks, guys. That's my time.
All right, let's give it up for Kim Cook. The very funny Kim Cook. Wow, so you moved to Chicago, what, you said a year ago, right? A year?
Yep, a year.
Wow. I've been to Chicago for like 3 years. You love the city so far?
I do.
I do too.
I do.
No, seriously, I love the city so much that if it was a woman, not only sleep with it, I would call it the next day, question where the nature of the relationship was headed to. Am I going to see you again? Do you feel that spark? I feel it too. But I actually saw a news report about New York. In New York, apparently, they're trying to make it a citation if you're texting and crossing in a crosswalk at the same time.
Yeah.
You notice they don't do that in Chicago, right? Because
they should.
well, no, because see, in New York, it's a health hazard. Chicago, it's more a way of basically cutting down the population.
You better.
No, seriously, you're taking your chance with a CTA bus. Come on, its whole purpose is to kill you, and possibly maybe getting people to their destination on time. Anyway, let's bring up. By the way, we're having a fun time, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring up our next comedian. The very funny, I've seen her perform, Jazmyn Ortega.
What up, y'all? So, as we know, this is Trump's America, so we gotta get a little serious sometimes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it. Because I just want to know who is winning Drag Race. No, really, are you Team Evie? I'm Team anyone but Silky. I've loved Drag Race since I was 13 years old because these queens gave me hope. Well, really, if they could do it, anyone could grow up to be a beautiful woman. No, don't get me wrong, I don't think I did half bad. I'm serving Miss Frizzle with a touch of my mommy. Only problem is I took the pretty woman thing like a little too seriously. Not in the men can save me way, in the I can blow strangers for money way. See, I was a sex worker. That's how I paid for college. Kim, we're cool, right? You're not gonna go call Tone Kim, right? And I didn't really think I had much of a choice, honestly. Like, I had scholarships, but FAFSA was a lie. I had to start working at ASFA. Because, like, I grew up poor. Like, actually poor, not like fake comedian poor. Where, like, you're a dog walker because your parents can afford to let you be a dog walker. No, I'm talking about going to the store with $10 and thinking, I need tampons, I need food for 3 days. What's more empty, my stomach or my bleeding vagina? The answer is always stomach. You'd be amazed what you can improv into a puppy pad. But I'm talking like actually poor. Like I went to the bank and deposited 3 rolls of pennies. Somehow the teller saw this and then could look me in the eye and say, "You've been pre-approved for a Chase card. Would you like to apply?" Bitch, do I look like I need another credit line? Hell yeah, sign me up. Third card's a charm, right? But, I mean, debt's a construct. I've been poor since I was 8. Debt don't scare me. I look at the poverty line, and I slip under like a limbo champion. Really, I do that every day. Just a little, how low can you go? But still pay the bills. If nothing else, the rent. See, that's one of those things where, for like basic survival, you can do the poverty limbo. But for college, you gotta put that flexibility to a whole new use. And I like to think I made the educated choice. You see, after trying to sell my eggs, plasma, bone marrow, I realized the vagina is the only thing you can sell while it's still attached to you. Just for reference though, you only need the big toe for balance. The rest you can hack off like shawarma. Don't worry though, thanks to Hohen, I have all 10 toes. I regret nothing. Like, Hohen's not even the worst job I ever had. I worked at Chipotle. Really, you'll find me on all fours before you ever see me roll another burrito. Like, it is a joy to hold a married man while he cries that his wife isn't enough. When compared to serving drunk Cubby fans after closing. And I will always blow a stranger in the back of a snowed-in Buick. If it means I don't have to serve another child gluten-free tortillas. That's not an option for hookers. You can't get a gluten-free hooker. Pussy is naturally yeasted. See, it's fun. It's fun because people always ask me the first thing, like, what's the weirdest stuff people ever ask you to do? For that, I always refer them to my favorite client, Baby. He wasn't cute. He had fetish. Like, he liked to dress me up as, like, a literal baby. Like, he really liked the whole, like, bottles, diapers, bath time. I wish I had a joke for that, but my life's doing a really great job of supplying those. But, like, actually, I love joking about the micro penises. Because I had, like, an amazing amount of clients with micro penises. Yeah, that shit gives scissoring a whole new meaning. Like, have you ever tried to mount a mushroom? You spend the entire night just like, if we could just. But in related news, a woman's right to abortion is dying, so. Yeah, I said we're talking about Trump's America. We're certainly back now. And I bring that up because as a former sex worker, I really feel the need to tell you that some babies should not exist. Like, first of all, abortion, I never even had the money for an abortion. Like, my roommates and I had a 22-step baby evacuation plan. We lived on the 22nd floor of our building. So we just threw you down, fly by fly, till that zygote was zygon, baby, gone. But like, I promise you, if this law keeps going and more women keep getting investigated for things like miscarriages, like, my ass is in jail, first thing. Because I've miscarried a man's baby before, and I regret nothing. I think we both dodged the bullet there. Like, that's one of those moments where it's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. It's just like, oh no, I didn't get saddled with some married man's kid for 18 years. I'm not sorry. Thanks, guys. Let's keep this going.
All right, let's give it up for Ortega, Jazmyn.
Quick note, you get 7 minutes. 1 minute, you get the light with a minute left. And a quick question for Jazmyn. Were you taking lessons from Melania Trump? Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Phil Burns, the referee for the night. No, actually, I learned a lot from Miss Jazmyn, because apparently I don't know a lot about the female anatomy. That's why I feel like now I should be a senator for Alabama. Isn't it kind of funny that the 25 people that voted for that they literally look like the same kind of guys who couldn't find a girl's special spot if they were given a map? Fun fact, by the way, the governor actually signed that in, which is a female. And literally 2 days after she signed that pro-life bill, she witnessed her 7th execution in the state. Yeah. Which now proves that we are no longer in America, we are now in an Onion article. But hey, let's not drown our fears on that. Let's back into comedy. Our next comedian, and I'm bringing the paper on stage so I may say this right.
Nope.
Matt?
Nailed it. All right, great.
Yeah, let's just go with Matt.
Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well done. Give it up for your host, ladies and gentlemen. A professional in the league. My name is Matt Castellvi. My last name is hard to pronounce and spell. It's to the left. Thank you, Coach. So it's hard. It's my fault. Castellvi's not even my original last name. I changed it to Castellvi. How stupid is that? We had to, though. We didn't have a choice. Our last name used to be Weinstein, CK. So we had to change it. Too Jewish. I drive in the city of Chicago. Anyone else here drive? Have a car? Yeah? The rest of you know? Where do you sleep? Get your life together, sirs and madams. But when you drive in Chicago, those who have cars, you know this to be true. You need to get a city sticker in this city, or you'll be ticketed non-stop, all right? So I've been through the ropes before, so I had to renew my sticker. So I went down to the currency exchange on Montrose and on Broadway. Great place. I had all my materials. You need your title, you need a utility bill, and a proof of identification, all right? So I had all these materials, all right? I'm an old hat on this. And they said, all right, we can give you the sticker, but you live in a Wrigleyville towing zone, so you need to actually go to the city clerk, which is downtown, and get that, or they'll continue to ticket you. Like, oh no. So the next day, I go out, I have to have all the materials bright and early, I have them. I go to the city clerk, and they're like, we actually can't give you that here. You need to go see your alderman. And I'm like, oh no! Tom Tunney's my alderman. All right, so the next day, I gotta go see Tom Tunney. I go to his office. I'm right there. I walk up. I'm like, I have all the materials. I give it to Tom Tunney. He's like, I can give it to you right now, but first, before I give it to you, you need to wrestle me without your shirt on. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, deadly serious. So we're wrestling with him, and he's got moles on him, and it's gross, and at one point our mustaches touch. And I pin him down. And he's like, actually, I'm just a homeless man who lives on the stoop. He's upstairs. And I'm like, oh no! So I go upstairs. I find Tom Tunney. He's 3 Asian dwarves. And he's like, I can give you the sticker, but you need to wrestle me without your shirt on. And I'm like, I just did this downstairs. The bureaucracy in this city, I guess, is my point. It's out of control. I don't even like cars. I hate driving cars. You know what I wish? I wish we had horses again. Remember when we had horses? Yes, God, this lady remembers. She's 150 years young, God bless her. Horses are way better. No carbon emissions, no gas prices. Sometimes they kick a kid. They're the best. The best in the business. Plus, you get the best. People take your horse excuses seriously. Like if you're taking your horse, like, I can't come into work, Mr. Benson. My horse hit a pothole, so I had to put a bullet in his brain. And they're like, oh, I understand. That makes total sense, because he's a horse. Plus, horse thieves, oh my God, they take those really seriously. Back in the day, in the old Wild West, if you stole someone's horse, they would kill you. It was a capital offense to steal a horse. They would round you up, they'd get like just your neighbors and a noose, and then they'd be like, all right, you stole Murray's horse, so now you're dead. And so deal with that. And that would never happen if someone stole my Toyota Previa, though. The cops would be like, yeah, get a better life. Figure it out. Oh, man. But, and then you're probably wondering, it's like, is he going to do more jokes about horses? You're right! Because... what about horse cops? Oh, I love watching horse cops. That's when, there's like a fat cop riding a horse, during like a Bulls game. I wish I would, like, as someone who doesn't have a job, I'm just so envious that the horse got to the rank of officer. It's just incredible for horses. And I can just imagine, like, back at the precinct, it's like, Alvarez, Chestnut, in my office! Alvarez, you're a loose cannon, and Chestnut, you're a pretty girl. Who's a pretty girl? The mayor wants to know what's going on with all this hay. I have an issue with my roommate right now, guys. Any of you guys have roommates? Yeah? Everyone else just doing great in life? Must be nice. Must be nice. But y'all have your own phone chargers, too. 1% comes the shakers. I understand what's up. Maybe if you've had roommates or have roommates, you can relate to this, because my roommate hates it. And I'm talking hates it when I don't call her my girlfriend. She is so needy. Oh my God. Oh, we do kinky stuff in the bedroom. That's sex for the uninitiated. I know this is on the radio, so we have to keep it PG. We can't all talk about pleasuring cats with our digits. We all have to keep it PG. So I'll see if I can make it as PG as possible. We do the role playing. You guys ever do the role playing? Oh, it's so good. Oh, so good. It's like the thrills of cheating, but they're there, so it's fine. We do all the standard role plays, the standard ones. You've heard about them. You've read them online. We do, teacher and student, secretary and boss, babysitter and ghost. We do... You guys don't do that one? It's really good. It's really good. It's like, it kind of goes like this. She's like, ooh, I have to be home soon. And you're like, boo! And then you have sex. Don't judge. Don't judge my relationship. How dare you? I'll also say that thank you so much. I'm Cuban. Right now, which is like, oh, I had no idea you needed to go back to your country. It's like, no, yeah, I am. I know it doesn't look it. There's a reason I don't look like a stereotypical Cuban person. The reason is mainly you're racist. How are we supposed to look? Huh? How about that? We don't all look like Ricky Ricardo. Some of us look like Fat Matt Damon, and we're okay with that. We're okay. I'm what's called white passing. I think I got an A+ in white, so that's great. I don't think I'm just passing. But what's great about being white is you have to take a test to be white, just like when you get into this country. I don't know that they don't tell you this in school. I know one of the questions on it. I'm not supposed to tell this bar, but I feel like I can trust you. One of the questions on the white test, here it is. It's Old Navy is to Gap as Corner Bakery is to anyone. What was it? Oh, actually, it's privilege. Privilege is it. It's a hard test. Whites don't let everyone in. All right, thank you guys so much. My name is Matt Castellvi. Keep it going for your host.
All right,
let's give it for Matt Castellvi, right? Yes, I got it right. You talked about white privilege. I lost a friend on Facebook because he got angry because he posted the weirdest meme ever. He said, "Hey, I'm proud to be white, and I'm not scared to be considered being a white supremacist. So be proud to be white." So of course I asked him some questions that he didn't like to answer. For instance, why are you proud to be white? Like, what achievement is that? Like, you make it sound like you stayed up late at night and studied real hard to one day be white. Alright, it's not an achievement. Mom and dad were white. You're white. You just won the genetic lottery, okay? It's not an achievement. It's not something to be proud of, okay? I'm proud I'm not on heroin. I'm proud I don't have a arrest record, as far as you know. These are things I can be proud of, personal achievements that I achieved. White is not, it's the base color of your first apartment. It's not something to brag about online. Anyway. Sorry for the outburst. Our next comedian, which I would like to say is the Beavis to my butthead, the Abbott to my Costello,
Hey, you're bad.
the Christian outrage to my Christian conservative, Mr. Phil Burns!
I knew that was coming.
Christian outrage? Christian, okay, Jeff is pure atheist. Okay, he doesn't believe in religion or God. I believe in a supreme being. Do you know why? I saw The Fifth Element. Why, some people don't. Come on! How many of you saw The Fifth Element? Come on.
Yeah.
I would kneel before Mila Jovovich. Except, what was the zombie movie she did? Yeah, I don't want a bullet in the head. Although sometimes, listening to Donald Trump, I wish I had a gun. No, so I could shoot my TV. I was actually working out one day. Yes, I go to. I retired almost 2 years ago. I got laid off, and I figured, you know what? The hell with it. I'm gonna start collecting Social Security. Yes, I know I don't look my age. I don't act it either. Why do you think I'm doing this? But I decided to collect. Now, next year, I've got to worry about getting Medicare. No, I'm not poor. Medicare. And the A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever things that go with it. It's going to be fun. I might just say to hell with it. I don't get sick. I'm a recovering cancer patient. 6 years. Prostate cancer. Everybody says, oh, prostate cancer is curable. Yeah, it is if you catch it in time. When I found out when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I gave myself a 15-second pity party. Okay. And I asked my doctor what options I had. He gave me 5 options. I took the Iron Man option. The Iron Man option? Yes. Instead of having a nuclear reactor in my chest, which he built himself, I had 88 radioactive seeds injected into my prostate. So it was great middle of the night, I had to go to the bathroom, and there's a window in my hallway. I see this flashing light jiggling just below my waist. Yeah, and another thing was they gave me a list of things I couldn't do right after I had the procedure done. One of them was being around pregnant women and little kids. I ride the bus a lot. I wished I had never read that note. These kids that I wished I could have, I don't know, they'd be walking around with 2 heads or something. I don't know. And some of these women that I had were pregnant when I met them. Their kids probably starved to death because they had no boobs. And I always wonder about that. Flat-chested women, how do they breastfeed? I apologize to any women that are lacking in the mammary gland area. Okay. I love boobs. I don't care what size they are, except Stormy Daniels, hers kind of turned me off. Especially after I found out Trump hit his mouth on him. Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was just weird. And another thing about when you start hitting certain points in life, you start seeing commercials that have to do with those events in your life. Like when I found out I had cancer and got treated. First commercial I saw after I got treated was commercials for American Cancer Society Institute. What? I couldn't save money? Well, then again, it's not like the what's the school for little kids with cancer? I could have told them that I was retarded or mentally deranged, something like that. Retarded's the wrong word. But another side effect of the treatment was I had to have a catheter in for 2 months. Now, 2013 was that real hot summer if you've lived in Chicago. And I was kind of waiting about it. Then I thought to myself, hey, I can make some money. Warm lemonade in the corner. I didn't try it, but I wished I had. I was broke. I was unemployed. I was collecting unemployment insurance. And they turned around and said, you owe us money. What? But anyways, and then I had that taken care of. I had the catheter taken out. Now, I'm unemployed. I'm seeing commercials for life insurance. I have a son. Believe it or not. Yes, I am not a virgin. My son is going to be 30 years old. He's lucky he's going to reach 30 years old, as much as he's pissed me off. Dad, you're cheap. Dad, you're an a-hole. Dad, you're this. Dad, you're that. Dad, I need $20. Dad, I need some pot. But you just said I'm cheap. I'm an a-hole, whatever. But I love you, Dad. Get away from me. But I figured out I'm not gonna get life insurance. As much money as I put into him growing up, let him pay for me going away. and I don't want to get buried. I already told him, and he promised he will not have me buried. Although I could get a military burial. With my luck, I was in the Army. With my luck, he'll dump me in Lake Michigan. That's a Navy burial. No, I told him I want my ashes dumped at Sox Park. Progressive A field to all you non-Sox fans. But I'll get busted. Not if you do it right and all the things you've done in your life that you didn't get caught at. Tell me you'll get caught dumping some dirt on the ground. And then now that he made me that promise, I'm seeing commercials for burial and cremation insurance. I don't want to get buried. I'll end up being a zombie or something. I don't want Elle shooting me in the head. God, I own all the movies. I see what she does to people that are zombies. God, or even, but no, actually, I can come back as a vampire. Well, no. Everybody says my comedy sucks, so I'm not going to come back as a vampire. That's another thing. One day, my son and I were going to a hockey game right after the first of the year. We started talking about New Year's resolutions. You give up smoking, you lose weight, you start working out, blah, blah, blah. And he said, how come people don't do things to help other people? And I'm sitting there thinking, couldn't think of anything. I asked him, well, what do you mean? His reply was, I don't know, like you giving up comedy? And I'm going to give it back to Jeff on that note. Gina Paum, I mean.
All right, let's hear it for Phil! Of course. Phil! Well, the first people I met in comedy. I met him actually at a show where he was wearing a leather, I think, trench coat and a baseball cap. I didn't know if he was there to do stand-up comedy or he was there to break somebody's leg over a bet. All right? Seriously, you can't get more Chicago than Phil Burns.
And don't forget the hat.
Yeah, and the hat. Yeah. I didn't forget it. No one else did. Anyway, let's get this show going, right? So I'm actually curious and excited. Miss Gina Paum.
All right, what's up, guys? How we doing so far? Pretty good. So I have a bit of a confession to make, and it's going to sound ridiculous to you because it absolutely is. I know that it is. But I've come to the conclusion recently that I'm definitely going through a quarter-life crisis. I turned 25 in a couple of weeks, and I just have a lot of anxiety about it because it's really setting into me that in a quarter of a century, the amount of things I've accomplished is zero. I have done absolutely nothing. It's kind of freaking me out. Like at this point in my life, I am a dog walker, I host trivia at bars, and I do this. I basically have like the perfect trifecta of jobs that the quirky female lead in a romantic comedy would have. No one is proud of me. And when I look back at noteworthy things that I have done, the very first thing I think of is crack. And that was one time and I found it, so it doesn't even really count. I said that bit not too long ago at a show at a women's transition facility. And if you're unfamiliar, what those are is for women that have been through the Illinois Department of Corrections. They go to these transition facilities afterwards and it helps them get back on their feet and find jobs and all that good stuff. And so I said it didn't count. And from the middle of the audience, a woman with no teeth yells, "Yes, it does!" And like I opened my mouth to argue with her, and then I was like, who am I to argue with the clear leading authority on this issue? No one. There's definitely like some extrinsic factors that are kind of making me feel really old too. I know, it's ridiculous. I'm not old at all, but my little sister, my youngest sister, just turned 16 years old, and that is surreal for me. That is crazy. Not only does it make me feel irrationally old, but it's also just really strange watching her go through all of these things that I went through at the same time. Of course, you know, she's 16, so right now the biggest thing in her life is boys. And I get that. You know, I've been there. But I'm having like a lot of trouble truly caring at all. Because my little sister is into a very particular type of boy right now. She really, really likes emo boys. Yes. Like the eyeliner, the hair, the pants, the whole nine. She loves it. But then, you know, when she comes to me and she's crying about boys, like, oh, he doesn't like me. I'm like, dude, every single guy you like is a different baby version of Chris Angel. If they don't like you, it is a blessing. Do you want to grow up and remember that you cried over someone who looked like a magician? I can't really rag on her too hard, though, because when I was her age, my idea of a dream guy was just anyone who looked like they could rollerblade in a Disney Channel original movie. The movie Brink did a lot of things for me, that's all I'll say. It's okay, though. It worked out fine for me. Despite all the odds, it worked out fine. I actually just celebrated a 5-year anniversary with my partner, which is pretty cool. Thank you, yeah. And I know because I said partner, like a lot of you are probably thinking I'm talking about a woman and that I'm gay. And I'm not. And not that that matters, but I want to clarify. I like to use the word partner to describe my boyfriend because I think it's really important to use as much gender-neutral language as you can. I also have a really aggressive cowboy fetish I'm trying to work through, so help me help myself. I find that like the longer that we've been together, the more and more that our families ask me about babies. It's a natural response, not mad at it, but I definitely don't want kids. I feel pretty confident in that. Did someone just cheer for that? Thanks, Kim. You're welcome. But yeah, I feel pretty confident that that's not for me. Like, I used to think I was a nice person. I used to think I was a kind person. I used to think I was someone who might be really dope at motherhood. But the way I feel when babies acknowledge me in public begs to differ. Like, when toddlers wave at me in the grocery store, I'm filled with, like, instant rage. And I can't describe it. I don't know why that happens to me. Like, I was walking my dog a few days ago, and from behind me, I heard a little voice go, "Excuse me, miss, can I pet your dog?" And I turned around and I went, and that... was just the first response in my heart for some reason. I also find the older that I get, like, the worse my taste in television gets. Like, my jam right now is home remodeling shows. It's embarrassing. I know that it is. But, like, HGTV, TLC, I love them. I cannot get enough of it. And I know, like, when I say that, you're probably like, oh, she must really like interior design. And that's not true. I like those shows because they are low-key shady as hell. I promise you, there is more drama in an episode of Extreme Home Makeovers than there is in any episode of The Bachelor. And that is saying something, because those women are professionally liquored up for 24 hours a day to forget they're all trying to end up with one dude who looks like he was conceived at a Dave Matthews Band concert. I stand by what I said. Like, did you know that if you participate in one of these shows, you don't get to keep the furniture they give you? Yeah, the crew comes back later and takes it. Like, they just found a way to gentrify burglary. Why is this TV? But Extreme Home Makeovers is hands down my favorite, and that's because I think they really do up that drama. They are super theatrical. They do this really cool thing where, like, when the house is fully renovated inside and out, they have the crew and the family and everyone come outside, and they cover the family's view of their newly renovated house with semi-trucks. And they do this big, grandiose moving of the trucks, and the camera pans over to the family standing in the street, and they see their new house for the first time, and they just cry because they realize they can't afford to live there anymore. And there is truly nothing more satisfying than seeing people just eat it on live TV. It's amazing. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I've been Gina.
Good job, good job.
All right, let's give it up for Gina. Gina just reminded me, I love kids so much that's why I have nieces. Anyway, our next comedian tonight, Katie Zane.
I'm going to do something that not a other person who walked up here has done. And by that, I'm going to move this table so it's not in front of me, so you guys can see all of my glory, but mostly because I have a bit that involves you needing to see all of me. Okay, so somebody was talking about ugly babies earlier, and all I was thinking was, like, I'm 35, and the best part about getting older is the acknowledgement of ugly babies. Like, because people stop keeping that shit a secret once you get older. Like, they stop, nobody pretends like babies are cute anymore. People get real quick. Like, I bridged 30, and everybody was like, that baby is hideous. And I was like, I know, right? He looks like an old man. But you know what it is? You get older, and you pick out, like, every old white dude that looks like someone's baby. Like, that's what happens. Like, you're just like, that looks like Kelsey Grammer. Oh my gosh. Like, that one looks like Donald Trump. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry for you. And also somebody else was talking about high school reunions. I did not go to my high school reunion because I got fat. And I was really, really skinny in high school. Like, I was like, people thought I had an eating disorder in high school, like skinny. And I got fat, and I did not want to be the girl at the high school reunion who got bigger. And my favorite thing is that somebody else went and then came back and told me who actually got fatter than me. They were like, oh, you should have gone. There was somebody who totally got fatter than you did. And I was like, oh man, I missed out on a great, like, hors d'oeuvre section. Like, no, I'm freaking good. I also worked at, like, Harley Davidson, and I made like $10 an hour, like, during one of my high school reunions, and I was like, I'm not going. Like, I would go now, but I would definitely not have gone when I was 28. I was a loser when I was 28. Also looked the freaking hottest I've ever looked, but I was a loser. let's see, what else did I want to talk about? So I realized today that my longest and most stable relationship in Chicago is with my drug dealer, who I work for now. Not selling drugs, like working in an art studio. It's amazing what happens to your life. But it also gives me hope for like future relationships. I was like, if I can make this work, I can make anything work. I also realized that Chicago has started to feel a lot like my hometown since I became a comedian. I like see comedians everywhere. And I actually think I offended a comedian when I ran into him the other day because we were crossing each other on the street. And I was like, oh, you guys are everywhere! And he was like, Jesus, I'm not going to say hi to you. And then just kept going the other way. But it came back and bit me as I was like on like the corner of wherever I was. And I like was like picking my butt. Because I had like a situation, and then a comic like rolled around the corner on a moped and was like, "What up?" And I was like, "I'm picking my butt. This is cool. I thought I had privacy, and that no one I knew that was ever gonna see me alive was seeing this moment. But you are. I'm glad you were there." And then a little part of me was like, "He's gonna talk about this later with somebody else. Like that's cool." So like I said, I got fat. I was really skinny in high school, and I got fatter. I got MS when I got diagnosed with MS when I was 19. And I think that also, like, I got, like, chubbier at first, but then I also just gave me liberties. I was like, I got MS. Like, I'm gonna get fat if I want to. And just because you're, like, fat positive doesn't mean you're in good health, okay? Like, you can be fine with your fat rolls, but it does not mean your heart is okay. Or your lungs, in my case. So the other day, I saw someone run for the bus, and I took a deep breath for them. Like, and I was just like hacking and spitting and gross by the time they got on the bus, and I was like, oh, thank God, I'm exhausted. Did you run before you got on the bus? Because I'm taking credit for that too, because I am so tired, and I'm so glad you're here. So please. Let's see, what else do I want to talk to you guys about? So yeah, I was back on the fat thing. I realized recently, working at this art studio that I have, the guy that I work for, also my drug dealer, is doing a keto thing. And the other day he was like, I'm so hungry because I had one taco. And I was like, yeah, of course you're hungry. Like, carbs keep you full. And then I was like, I have a Snickers in my purse. And then I realized I am officially the fat woman who always has full-size candy bars inside of her bag. Like, at all times. Like, I always have weed and candy bars. Like, I got you. Like, all the time. I am Fat Monica from Friends if she was a stoner. Like, that's me. 100%, like, in a nutshell. I'm also, like, anal retentive like her. Oh, God, I'm Fat Monica from Friends. Like, that's real. Like, that's actually who I am. So when I was growing up, I used to deal with my anxiety by watching the TV Guide channel. And if you guys don't know what that is, because you're really young, like the person before me who's a decade younger than me, what it is it was a channel that you couldn't control. They just had like scrolling safety, like going down the screen. You knew exactly what was going to happen. It made you feel very comfortable, made me very comfortable. But this did not mean that I was a very cool person in middle school. So this meant that when we got to middle school at the time, my best friend at the time was like, we can't hang out when we're at school. And I like agreed to that right away. Like right away. And I like to use that as an example of like what a decent and like nice person I am. And recently someone made me like, sorry, I can't sleep with you anymore, waffles. Like, I didn't get ghosted, I got breakfast food. Like, I'm on top of my game. I'm doing good. I'll go ahead and tell this part of this joke. We'll see if you guys push back or not. But one of the things recently too that I like to give as an example of like what a decent human being I am, which is like even my sexual predator apologized to me. Like, right? Okay, cool. Some of you guys are, that's fine. It's fine. You guys can laugh at that because like I'm talking about the thing that happened to me and I find it funny. So, like, if there's two things I've learned about doing comedy, if you talk about like Girl Scout leaders dying, and if you talk about rape and sexual assault, people are like, oh no, I can't laugh at that. And I'm like, yeah, but we're talking about it, so like laugh. And if you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and tell that joke since I never tell it, even though I think it's hilarious, but it's hard to get people on board. Let's see if you guys come along with me on this. Which is that when I was in high school, I got to 9th grade. I didn't even finish the other joke I was telling, but maybe I will later. But so I got to 9th grade, and I got called to the office for the first time. And you're like in 9th grade, you're scared and it's nervous. You don't know what's gonna happen. I get to the office and I find out my Girl Scout leader has been killed in like a tragic accident. And I know, it's really sad. It was a very painful experience for me. But that was the first time I went to the office in school. So that meant every single time I got called to the office for the rest of high school, I thought someone was dead. Like, every time. Thank you for the 3 people that laughed, because that is fucking funny, and I love it. Sorry. You know what? Nobody had messed up the whole night. You're just waiting for me. Waiting for me. But I'm going to end on this one last thing, Phil, if that's all right, and Jeff, and Thomas, who's not here. So a couple months ago, I was on my way to a Tinder date, and I found out that I have HPV. And normal response to that is to get, like, upset and, like, feel like you have to tell people, and I was like, hell yeah, I have HPV. And the reason for my enthusiasm is I have had herpes since I was 20. So I've been on, like, my little sad, socially unacceptable island of herpes for 15 years. And now I'm on HPV island with all of you. And if you didn't laugh at that joke, you have HPV, go to your doctor. I've been Kitty Zane. Thanks so much.
Alright, let's give it up for Katie Zane! Alright, we're gonna get the show running down to the end. Dylan Burke. Come on, keep it up better than that! Thank you.
It's pretty nice being here at Shakers on Clark. Room full of laughter, making me feel warm, almost enough happiness to take my mind off the fact that I might have to use a colostomy bag for the rest of my life. Okay? It was never formally diagnosed. I didn't go to a doctor. I just know that it's a possibility. I saw this married couple at Home Depot. I really didn't think they were married at first because the man said to the woman, "Happy wife, happy life." Now, I've never been married, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to say that to your wife. Pretty sure you're only supposed to say that about your wife when she's not around. And when she is around, you have to keep up this ruse that everything that she wants is something that you happen to like. And, I heard the guy ask her another question, just like snippets of conversation as I'm passing. And he said, "Are you happy? Are you happy?" And she said, "I have no choice but to be." So I thought, wow, that must be great. Having no choice but to be happy, literally being incapable of anything other than happiness. And I got jealous for a second, but then I realized that her tone of voice indicated that she actually was dissatisfied with not being able to be happy. And I just shrugged and said, you know what? I'm okay with the way God made me. And I walked out of that Home Depot without buying anything. So I walked to this forest preserve after the Home Depot, and I kind of reflected on my life, my past, and I have a checkered past. So I did enough drugs and alcohol to the point where I have memories that I don't know if they happened in real life or if it was just me playing GTA. And there are a lot of reckless things you can do in GTA that you can't do in real life, like stealing a car and just driving around long enough until the cops forgive you. But I think the most reckless thing you can do in GTA that you can't do in real life is going to the barber shop and getting a haircut that requires more hair than the hair you have. Yeah, and then, I try to get centered, try to focus on my goals. Like, I have one goal in comedy. I really just have one goal, and that's to make one person laugh so hard that they poop and pee in their pants. So if any of you hate my comedy, don't think I'm funny, and want me to quit, just poop and pee in your pants. And I'll quit because my goal will be achieved. And where was I? Yeah, I was in that forest preserve, reflecting on my life. So I went home from there, and I'm at home, and I'm sitting watching television, and it's an interview with an athlete's parents. You ever watch these interviews with athletes' parents, where the athlete's parent acts as if they had anything to do with their child becoming a professional athlete? Like, they always say things like, we made sure and raised them with good priorities. We always had chores for them to do, discipline, you know. Wow, I never would have thought of that. What are you going to tell me next? Did you nut inside your wife? This whole time, I've been putting my nut outside of my wife, parentheses, U's case. And my wife, parentheses, U, is a body pillow of Monkey D. Luffy, the man who will become king of pirates. And on the other side of that pillow is his swashbuckling, sword-wielding first mate, Roro Noah Zorro. And my son is a drummer.
Yeah, let's give it up for him. All right, next comedian, Sophia Smarandescu.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally messed it up, but you're giving me credit, and God bless you for that.
All right, thank you. That's right. Oh shit! All right. This is an eventful show, everybody. Cat fingering, tripping, love it. Yeah, my name is Sophia Smarandescu. It's Romanian. Both my parents are Romanian. I was born there. My parents were raised in communism. The first time I said that on stage, this college guy started cheering. He was like, "Woo!" I was like, "Settle down." They didn't like pick it up in college. Because there's two kinds of communism, you guys. There's college communism that you get from reading books, and then there's real communism where they burn your books. One of the reasons I know that my dad was raised in communism is because anytime he wanted to say something racist, he'd always like turn the volume up on the stereo so the government doesn't hear. It's pretty weird hearing that the Holocaust never happened. The beat of my hips don't lie. But it makes me want to dance. All right. A lot of my friends think my parents are crazy, but, you know, it makes sense. You know, like, my dad's family was exiled, right? Someone who's exiled is never going to use the phrase, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed." Instead, they're just like, "When I die, then you'll know." Messed up. Almost swore. FCC, all right. When I was a kid, they put me in ESL because of my last name. They just saw it. They just put me in ESL. And when you're in ESL, they don't tell you you're in ESL. I thought me and all the Mexican kids had the same speech impediment. Yeah, I was in ESL for 2 weeks until they realized I could speak English, and then they kicked me out. You ever wonder what it's like to get kicked out of ESL? It's like, "Oh, sorry, we thought you couldn't speak English. Turns out you're just super weird." So, there's a lot of artistic people in the room tonight. I can feel it. Anybody like sing or anything? No? All right. Just talkers. I'm jealous of people who are like musical. You know, they can like sing when they're like taking a bath or, you know, like washing the dishes. But like, you know, like I do stand-up comedy, so like if I'm washing the dishes or taking a shower, the only thing I can do is practice shutting down hecklers. So for those of you that are wondering, this is what it sounds like when I'm taking a shower. You guys are ready? Are you ready? Okay, great. Shh. Hey! Shut up! You're bored! Shut up! That's it, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I am a pretty motivated comedian. Like I woke up this morning, I thought to myself, I want 10 microwave jokes by 5. I can only come up with a few, but here they are, alright? 1. Has anyone tried eating off that complimentary plate that comes with a microwave? 2. Has anyone tried wearing that necklace? For those who don't know, like they have a necklace. I wore it to a wedding! Shall we shut up? Or you went shh. Alright, cool. Don't worry. I was about to shut you down, man. A lot of microwaves have those tinted windows. Why does my frozen burrito need a tinted window? Is it doing drugs? I will close with this. I've been going through a breakup recently. Any breakuppers in the house? Alright. My ex and I were breaking up in public a lot. You probably have seen us. Yeah, we were breaking up in public. I feel like breakups are a lot like action movies. You know, you think it's over, but then there's another fight scene. The Rock's always involved. I feel like men bring out really interesting qualities I never knew I had. Like, I never knew I had a good memory until I got my first boyfriend. I want my next boyfriend to be so shitty that I become detail-oriented. Alright, thank you!
Alright, give it up for Sophia! Our next comedian, Liz Stockwell! Run, quick! It's a marathon! Here you go.
I'm sorry, my hands are still wet. Hi, how you guys doing tonight? People at the bar, how you doing tonight? I'm doing great. My pits smell like really good weed. Living my best life, you guys. I had to work all day. I'm still out of breath from running up those stairs. I'm out of shape. I had a really long day. I'm really hating my job lately. Like, I got a certificate for being there for 5 years. After being there for 6 years. Wasn't even laminated. That's how you know you matter, right? Oh man, I just started this new job. I'm really liking it. I'm working at this law firm, and I found out the other day that the sister of one of the attorneys there wrote the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It's cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, unless you're him. Let's just imagine you bust your ass through school just to make it to a top tier law school. You make partner at one of the biggest law firms in the world. And then your dorky kid sister's like, I think I'm gonna write a story about pants that fit. I kill myself, oh my god. Oh man, I am a very short woman. You can tell that just by looking at me. I used to be really self-conscious about it, 5'1". And I realized, I'll always be cute. That's cool, right? Yeah, what's not cool is I will never know who's balding until they go down on me. Sneaky. I can't say that for FCC reasons. Oh god. I know I come off as this really classy broad and everything, but I actually come from a long line of white trash, you see. I had to watch my purse at my own grandma's funeral. That's because my uncle... Sorry, I always get this wrong. Technically, he was my uncle cousin. He got caught embezzling from his bowling league in Wisconsin. Still counts as a white-collar crime, okay? Here's the thing. He got banned from league bowling in the entire state of Wisconsin. If you don't know anything about Wisconsin, that is like getting cast out of society. Because there's only 2 things to do there. Bowl or star in your own Netflix documentary. Like, making a murderer, more like making me miss my family. Come on. That's my dad's side. He was adopted into that. Like, who's saving who? My mom, she raised me to be a big old feminist. Give it up for that. Big old feminist. Yeah. Good. Yeah. The consequence of that, though, is like I never really learned how to do my hair, my nails, my makeup. I mean, she did teach me how to do my pubes, but no one's seeing those, so it doesn't matter. Like personal appearances just didn't matter to her. There are more important things, right? Like, my mom is the type of woman that will walk around with food stains on the back of her shirt. How? She, like, flogging herself with barbecue ribs or something? Like, no, she just didn't realize she was wearing it backwards and flipped it around. Oh, Doris, I love her. Yes, that is her real name. And yes, I am using it for comedic effect because I think Doris is a really dumb name for a baby. I am a big feminist. I do fall into the traps of body image issues, though. It's hard, it's hard unlearning these things. Like, I gained some weight recently, after going on antidepressants and birth control and, that saying, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Well, it feels pretty goddamn good. That's okay, right? It feels pretty goddamn good to not have cramps and depression. I used to get bullied a lot in high school. I think that's the reason why I have issues. I had really bad acne. Kids used to call me pizza face. But you know what? Stop calling me pizza face after I grew a pair of these pizza... Oh, I don't know if I can say that word. That's right. The acne traveled from my face to my brand new boobs. And it didn't stop there. So I am single. I'm actually a divorced woman. I know what you're thinking. I look so young, and thank you. I met my ex about 10 years ago in college, tutoring him in basic logic. I couldn't quite handle that. But I think the reason I stayed in my relationship for way too long was the fear of dying alone. That's sad, right? Because what is dying alone, really? It's me time. If I die in my sleep, they're just gonna find me stretched out diagonally in my own queen-size bed. It is a dope way to sleep and a dope way to die. Chew on that. All right, thank you. I've been Liz Stockwell.
All right, let's give it up for Liz Stockwell. And now our last comedian tonight, Seth Davis.
All right, did you say Davis?
Davies.
Oh, like I'm a Spaniard. Okay. I came all the way, from Spain to be with you guys. This is really nice. There's a microphone. Hello. Thanks for sticking around. I really want to fart right now, but I can't.
You totally can, man.
I will try, but I might shit myself, and then.
Don't do that.
Well, yeah, nobody wants that. Here at Shakers, where you can shit on the floor.
FCC rules.
Oh, I can't. What does that mean?
Don't say that word.
Oh, okay. Shakers, where you can take a dump on the floor. A hot, steamy dump. Okay. I didn't know that. I forgot. I saw that there was a recording, but we'll just edit this out. So what is going on with me? you can tell I'm a Jew, right? You can tell. But I don't like to tell, when I'm outside of a big city, I don't like to tell people, I mean, they can figure it out when they hear me talk or ask questions or complain. But I don't like to tell people, and I've always been nervous about this, but I'll never forget when I was back in high school, my family took in for a couple weeks a German exchange student that stayed with my family. And he came with his whole soccer team, and his soccer team played my soccer team, and we scored the first goal, and then the Germans annihilated us. And the guy that was staying with my family, his name was Bjorn. And Bjorn was 17 years old. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, and a huge dick. Is that FCC? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you it anyway. One day, Bjorn was in my bedroom with me, and we were just sitting on the floor, and I was like 15, and Bjorn looks like a man, and I look like a little boy. And we're sitting on the floor, and Bjorn goes, "Seth, what is that on the wall?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "What is that on the wall?" And on my wall in my bedroom was this big purple and silver glittered gigantic poster board from my bar mitzvah that all my friends signed. And they signed things like, "We hope you did a great job on your Torah portion," or "Don't ever change, just stay who you are." And, things like this. And I was like, well, Bjorn, this is a poster from my bar mitzvah. And Bjorn goes, "Are you a Jewish?" I was like, "Oh shit! I'm sorry." Oh poop. Okay. I started to get really nervous. I'm like, he's gonna find out. Like, he totally knows. Like, I got really nervous. Like, what is gonna happen? What is about to happen? I got so nervous. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna say. So I said the truth. I was like, "Yeah, Bjorn, I'm Jewish." And Bjorn goes, "Sorry about the Holocaust." Oh my God. I didn't know what to say. Like, that's like, what am I gonna, like, he apologized for genocide on my bedroom floor. Like, that's like me going up to my Japanese girlfriend and being like, "Sorry about Hiroshima." It's terrible. Anyways, oh yeah, okay, thank you, good night. I'm set.
Alright, let's give it up for Seth. Let's give it up for all the comedians tonight. Y'all did a wonderful job. All of you, seriously. And in the words of Thomas Bottoms, if you're going to leave the house, try to be a decent person. Thank you and good night.